The other day I went to the happiest place on earth, where I assume is most people's happiest place on earth, Target. And as I walked in, I saw these two women at war with each other. One woman was a customer, one was an employee, and this specific Target had changed the way they were doing their lines. I couldn't quite explain it to you if I tried, but this customer was not happy about it, and she let the employee know it. She said, "You need to have better signs everywhere. I didn't know where to go. It was not clear. You need to help me. I've never done this before." And the employee is shaking, and she responds, "For sure. There could be better signs. Like, I thought this was clear. I can tell it wasn't clear." And she starts to shake and she starts to tear up and says, "I've also never done this before." And as I looked at these two women, it was like seeing myself in a mirror. Like, through both of them, I could relate to both of these women at different times of this year. There have been times when I have felt like other people need to get it together and explain this to me better. Like, I feel like the customer, like, why aren't you guys doing your job and helping me out? And just as many times I have felt like this employee, like, for sure there should be better signs. I'm sure I could be doing this better. And I've also never done this before. Maybe right now you feel like the first woman, the customer. You feel like nothing is going right for you, or people are letting you down and they need to get it together. Or maybe you feel like the employee. Maybe you feel like you're letting other people down. You're trying your best, but you feel like you are way in over your head. We are all under pressure. We are yelling at strangers at Target. We're so disappointed at work. We're writing aggressive emails to our coworkers. We're so stressed out about things around the house. We're constantly irritated at our family. And our stress and our impatience, it's boiling over to the people around us. We are all under so much pressure. I have some really good news for you. We can find purpose in the pressure. We're talking about having faith through fire, walking in victory. And in the last conversation, we talked about how when we have faith, we can find God's presence in the fire and God's freedom through the fire. And today I want to talk about how we can find purpose in the fire. We can find purpose through patience. And you may be thinking, I don't really care about being a patient person. That's fair. But what about being a strong person? What about being a person of character? What about a person who throughout storms and fires has unshakable hope? Patience produces that. And patience is not a cure for the pressure we're under. I know you and I want to skip the suffering, want to skip the fire, but we can't. We are in it. Patience will not cancel the pressure that we're under, but patience will give purpose to the pressure. The writer of Romans encourages us in Romans 5:3, even in times of trouble, we have a joyful confidence, knowing that our pressures will develop in us patient endurance, and patient endurance will refine our character, and proven character leads us back to hope. And this hope is not a disappointing fantasy, because we can now experience the endless love of God cascading into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who lives in us. This verse is saying the pressure you're feeling, there's a point to this. The pressure we're under has the potential to have negative power around us, circumstances outside of us, the loss of a job, the disappointment of a dream, overwhelming deadlines in projects. But the good news is that the same pressure has the potential for positive power inside of us. When we keep holding on to Jesus through the pressure, it produces endurance. And then we keep holding on, and that endurance produces greater character, and we keep holding on, and then that character produces hope, a greater hope in Jesus Christ, who saves lives, who heals marriages, who sets people free from addiction, who makes the impossible possible. That is the hope available in Jesus. Don't you want this kind of life-giving hope? It starts first in the pressure. It starts first in the fire and having faith and patience through it. There is potential in the pressure to have greater endurance, greater character, and greater hope in Jesus Christ. And Jesus is the point to this. Jesus in your life is the point to this. Jesus being close to you is the point to this. You being more free through the power of Jesus, your soul having more rest through a relationship with Jesus is the point to this. This verse gives me confidence. I'll keep my faith in Jesus, and if I do not give up, no trial will be wasted. You may have invested into a project this year and it's not going the way you dreamed, but if you stay patient in the pressure, let that endurance turn into greater character and that character turn into greater hope, no trial will be wasted. You may be doing all you can to help those right now in need in your community or in your neighborhood or in your city, but you're feeling discouraged because no matter what you do, it feels like there's just so much to do and you want to give up. But if you keep holding on, stay patient in the pressure, keep doing what you can, where you are, keep obeying God, grow in your character, grow in greater hope, no trial will be wasted. You may feel like you don't know how to plan anymore for your business or dream for your family or pray for your friends and you feel defeated. But if you hold on, if you just keep on planning and keep on dreaming and keep on praying and let that patient endurance turn into greater character and that character turn into greater hope, no trial will be wasted. The fire the enemy meant to hurt you can actually strengthen you. Many of us, we want to be strong people with strong character, resilient and unwavering, but we don't want to be refined by fire. Peter writes that the purpose of these troubles is to test your faith as fire tests how genuine gold is. Your faith is more precious than gold, and by passing the test, it gives praise, glory, and honor to God. This will happen when Jesus Christ appears again. I love that so much. I love how another translation puts it. When Jesus wraps this all up, it's your faith, not your gold, that God will have on display as evidence of his victory. If we truly want to be the people we say we hope to be, if we truly want to be the people we're praying to be, if we want to be those with real faith, bringing real glory to God, really fighting for people, and really showing the world the evidence of who Jesus is, then we must be people who do not give up, but instead hold on to hope in Jesus Christ and draw closer to God in the midst of uncertainty and against all odds, step forward in faith through the fire. Let's not just talk about the people we want to be one day. Let's boldly step into God's purposes and be the people he has created us to be today. I want to equip you with 4 practical ways to practice patience under pressure. If patience gives us purpose in the fire, then what are some active ways, some practical tips that we could practice patience under pressure? Early in our marriage, my husband Guy taught me this communication tool to give more grace than guilt. It was something he exemplified to me early on, not making me feel bad for something I forgot or something I missed, as I had never been a wife before, and he knew that. He showed me lots of grace. In relationships, we can tend to, how should I put this? Sometimes over-exaggerate things. Like, I've told you 100 times when you've only told someone something twice. So he taught me this tool early on, and I try to get better at it. Try to get pretty good at it over time. I remember a couple of years ago, my husband said something to me that hurt my feelings, and he didn't mean it, and he felt terrible. I could see the guilt welling up inside of him, and he said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it." And I pointed at him in the face and I said, "I know you didn't mean it, because I am the love of your life, and you have never said anything like that to me before, so I know you didn't mean it. I just want you to know that hurt my feelings." And that instantly changed the temperature of the conversation. That instantly changed the temperature of the room. As I spoke the truth is that my husband's always saying nice things about me. And as I spoke the truth, he was set free, and he'd have to spend all this time defending himself, and I was set free. I wasn't escalating the situation to a place it didn't need to be. We were able to move forward. I want to give you this same tool, this one practical way to find purpose in the middle of chaos, in the middle of a stressful season. Practice peace. When we work to shame people and guilt people or have a who can out-guilt who competition with people, we are working against the Jesus mission, putting on them and chaining them to the very things that Jesus came to set us free from. What would it look like to instead partner with Jesus on his mission to set people free? Let's give more grace than guilt. Maybe you're a teacher and today you're deciding, I'm not going to yell at this parent who was asking me about homework for their kid for the 100th time. Even though being a teacher is really hard, I'm going to remember that being a parent is also really hard. I'm going to choose to give more grace than guilt. I want us to be set free and to move forward. Maybe you're a college student living at home for a season and you're deciding, I'm not going to lash out on my mom. Even though I haven't lived in this house for years and these house rules are whack, I know that my mom is doing the best she can. I'm going to give more grace than guilt. I want us to be set free and I want us to move forward. Maybe you're a creative working with other creatives on a project and the deadlines are overwhelming, tensions are high, and you just need to step back and consider, how can some extra grace help all of us right now? Some extra patience, some extra forgiveness. How could that set us free from some anxiety and help us all move forward? In your place of work, in your marriage, and in your relationships, I challenge you, how can you give more grace than guilt this week? We don't want to give the enemy any victory through our words or through our actions, even when we are walking through fire. The fires of your life are real. The loss of loved ones is real. The loss of business assets are real. The strangers yelling at you at Target are real. You don't have to fake it through the fire, but when you hold on to your faith in Jesus, when you practice patience through the fire and peace through the fire, you will find purpose through the fire. You will find greater endurance, greater character, and greater hope in Jesus Christ, and you will be a part of his mission in setting others free. In our next conversation, I'm going to give you 3 more practical ways that we can practice patience and find, against all odds, purpose in the middle of pressure. Today, we talked about practicing peace. Next, we're going to talk about practicing praise, perseverance, and pursuing God's promises. I'll see you soon.